Greetings and salutations, everyone! My name is Fire Mage, and welcome back to Rimworld Ascension Take 2, Episode 59. If you enjoy this episode, please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, mod list is down in the description. And with that, let's get on to the episode. Alright, well, picking up where we left off last time, what are my plans for today? Well, if you will recall, a few episodes ago, we were given a quest, Defense for Hire. Now, this is a very doable quest, and we will be accepting it soon, and we will be getting 2 anti-grain warheads from it. But I don't want to accept it just yet. We still have 1.6 days to prepare before we accept it and get that giant raid sent to us. So, how am I going to prepare? Simple. We need more turrets. Now, right now, our current little turret wall here is pretty good. But, against the large hordes of enemies, I am worried it might falter a little bit. So, what we are going to do is we are going to invest in getting some more turrets. Specifically, I would like to set up some extra spotlight turrets, because spotlight turrets will dazzle the enemy, making it harder for them to attack us. A very worthwhile investment, if I do say so myself. So with those 2 spotlights, that should aid us in the weakening of our enemy, ever so slightly. But also, just around the colony, there are a few more turrets I want to just kind of put around. First of all, this bronze military turret, we need to move it. And I think we will move it over here to the warehouse. And right here, we are going to put an autocannon turret. Is that a little overkill for an internal defense turret? Absolutely not. You never know when you're going to get a War Casket raid or, God forbid, a Drop Pod raid. And, in the meantime, it would appear that our Skip Hound has died due to blood loss, because it decided it would be a good idea to fight a Mega Sloth. Of course it did. Well, that's just more food. But, back to setting up the turrets, because I do also want to put another military turret over here, I think. Or, actually, even better, we will put a flame turret right here, since this is a rather tight-knit area. Good spot for a flame turret. We will move this steel turret up here, like so, and then put a flame turret right here, since this is once again a rather tight location. And I think that will do for now. Also, in line with setting up those turrets, I actually need to do some stuff with my vehicles before we get ready to accept that quest. Because the way the Scythemen work, if you remember, is they can only shoot behind them at a 180-degree angle, which means that while the Scythemen are able to bombard this half of the map, this half is completely exposed, which is where the trench network is. So, we are going to have Reaper turn this one around so that it can shoot at the trench network if needed. We are also going to go ahead and preemptively move the roadkill up front, so that it can also provide us some additional fire support. And there we go. The spotlight turrets are done. And now we are going to get ready to accept that quest. And in order to make sure we are properly prepared for the fight, we need to get our soldier equipment, well, equipped. And that means that we now get to do the super fun job of sending all of our people to equip weapons. Alright, and now everyone is properly equipped. Let's go ahead and make sure everyone is in the trench network, just in case they try to attack us immediately. I'm unsure if it will take them a while to attack or not, so I'm going to play it on the safe side and assume they're going to attack immediately. Alright, and as for the remaining colonists, German, will you please board the roadkill as driver? The war caskets will be placed in the riskiest position, that being in front of literally everyone, and Senga, you can man the anti-tank gun, just in case we need it, which is unlikely, but better safe than sorry. As for everyone else who is not engaging in combat, make your way into the dining hall. And then we will accept the quest. Oh, and it looks like they're actually willing to send us soldiers of their own to aid in our fight. Well, that's convenient. Wow, they sent me a squad of 9. They have pretty bad weapons overall, but you know what? I will not argue with some extra bodies to throw on the trench network. Alright, so it does not seem like they will attack immediately. It says here they will arrive in 1.9 days, so we do have some time to prepare. Which is good, I suppose. Better to have time to prepare and get ready than have it happen immediately. Well, it is official. We have 0.2 days left to prepare for the defense, which means that it is finally time to send everyone to the trench network. Now, we will be sending our people up front, even though we could feasibly keep them off the front line, given that we were, well, given all those other people. But it would not be fair to them, nor to us, if we let them fight this battle for us. Mostly, though, I just want the battle experience. Our people need to learn how to fight better, and the only way to do that is to fight. So that is exactly what we will be doing. Pretty much the exact same setup as before. Then we just grab the Empire soldiers and tell them to get in my trenches. And that should be everyone we need to fight. Actually, incorrect. We need Bicep and Wiggy to get in the Scythemen. Let's also make sure we get our war caskets in siege mode. That way they get that sweet range bonus. Just for reference, for those who haven't seen it before, this is the range of their main weapon currently, reaching up to just past that door on the ruins up here, and then we activate siege mode, and now they can shoot across that entire building. So it's a not insignificant increase. These guys will hopefully draw the enemy fire away from our very, very vulnerable trench network. I mean, I suppose it's not too terribly vulnerable, but it's still more vulnerable than I would like. I do not like risking the lives of my people. Oh, and it would appear that the Blight Society is also now demanding money while we wait. I don't even have nearly that much money, so we're going to have to reject that. And that causes them to launch a raid. 56 people from the Blight Society. And they're coming at us with compound bows and sniper rifles. Okay. Counterpoint. Rocket artillery barrage here. And, Wiggy, if you could turn yours around, I'd like to have you launch one as well. And while our rocket artillery is preparing to barrage, we have finished specialized flak armor. Let's go ahead and get to work on the heavy stuff. And I almost feel bad for the Blight Society, because they are attacking us right when we were already getting prepared to blow up a large raid. There goes our rocket artillery. Hopefully that'll help soften up this large group. Ooh, that did good amounts of damage. Let's prepare another barrage here. And another barrage here. And there is the fire home of Too Many Z's coming at us with even more primitive weapons. And I hope that they might actually engage these guys a little bit, if we're lucky. And the tank was enough to get them to retreat. Perfect. Alright, roadkill, seeing as they are coming from up here, if you could please drive yourself up over here. Lovely. Alright. Those who are down and injured are going to need to be rescued. Let's see. You got 16 hours. You got 16 hours. Go ahead and rescue our downed folks. Oh, I didn't even see these guys. It looks like the fire home of Too Many Z's is launching both attacks at the same time. How interesting. And also how unfortunate for this group, because they have to cross the bridge. And that is where I am about to direct all of my rocket artillery. The bridge is a death zone, and that is exactly what's going to happen. And it would seem that our rocket artillery did, in fact, take catastrophic damage, and now is unable to continue firing. Well, I expected that to happen, but I shouldn't need it anymore. That should be more than enough firepower. Alright, and that attack vector has been already critically wounded. Lovely. And that only leaves this vector. Once again, tank, if you could just turn around and start moving to the front. Redraft our war caskets and then send them down. And apparently some of the imps have decided to start trying to tunnel, even though they could just walk around. Quite strange. Do I need my tank over here? Probably not, but I'm gonna use it anyway, because I have it. Absolutely overkill, though. In fact, let's also push out with our infantry. These guys aren't even really able to hurt us, so shouldn't cause too many problems there. Aside from their stupid flaming arrows, which are really annoying. Alright, and let's go ahead and send the tank on back home. It did its job quite nicely. And now we can safely say we have won. And there are quite a few who are down who might be rescuable. Fortunately, it does seem like most of them are in the process of rapidly dying. But I suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea to, at the very least, attempt to rescue them. If for no other reason than because, well, we don't have a reason not to rescue them. I mean, if they die on the way back, then they die on the way back. But if they survive, we might get some good prisoners out of this. And the quest is now officially done. Let us bask in the glory of our 2 anti-grain warheads. And it would seem we have already filled our prison. Well, I want to capture more people, so we are going to go ahead and play the old game of how many people can we shove into an individual room. It's a great game. Not for the prisoners, but for me. I want more prisoners. I want more people, really, is what I should be saying. More people I can capture, the better. Alright, and the battle is now over. We managed to get 4 prisoners, which is exactly how many prisoner beds we actually have. I had more, but unfortunately, they all bled out, as you can see. Although it would also seem that someone left Sparkles out in the open for some reason. Please go rescue Sparkles. So, with 4 prisoners and now 2 anti-grain warheads to our name, I would certainly say that was a very successful quest, even with that little extra introduction from the Blight Society. Of course, they were only attacking us because we're too close to their settlements, which is hilarious. But we are slowly working towards being able to solve that problem. Well, while all of our soldiers are slowly recovering, it is time for us to do another thing. Because while all that was happening just before the fight, we finished our 2nd relay satellite. Let's go ahead and try to launch it into orbit. Oh, actually, apparently, look, there's our first one. It did get launched into orbit. I was just dumb and didn't realize it. Leave it to me. But that means we can check off Build Space Program. No wonder I couldn't see it, though. That is tiny. It's a very small thing that is barely visible. But now we have 2 satellites in orbit, which is very cool. And I think that also now calls for us to build a satellite dish. Still not entirely sure what it does exactly, but I'm assuming it links to our satellites somehow. Also, our prisoners are getting more infections. Of course they are. And now that everyone is recovering and we have successfully launched a whole 2 satellites into orbit, we now need to put some more stuff on the list to work on. Now, while there are certainly things around the base I want to do, I think we need to do just a little bit more work on our defenses and our military. Namely, we need to upgrade our uniforms, because now that we have carapace armor, I want to use it, even if we can't make it all out of the glorious depleted uranium, simply because, well, it takes a while to get the stuff. I do want to make it at least out of normal uranium, which is far easier to come by, as we have found. But that's not all. Our defenses worked excellently. However, I want to do some slight changes to it, so we are going to put that on the list. And now you might notice that's worded a little strangely. Frontline defense. Well, that's because I also want to work on our backline defense, which are basically just all these turrets. As we build more structures, turrets will need to be moved around, set up, changed what they are, but overall, I think we need more turrets, which, again, is going on the list. And while those are all relatively small in the grand scheme of things, they are all, nonetheless, very important. Especially considering my current long-term projects are upgrading the wall and establishing all of these moisture pumps, which will take a while. Well, with most of the colony now successfully recovered, I think I'm going to be leaving this episode off here. While we didn't make a lot of progress, we did show just how powerful our defenses are and how good rocket artillery is against, well, large hordes of enemies with little armor. As well as, turns out, tanks, very good at killing tribals. Might need to build a few more of those. We have also now built a space program, as we now have 2 satellites up in orbit. Next episode, we will be building a satellite dish. Hopefully that gives us some bonuses with them, but I have no idea. We'll certainly find out. We are also now, next episode, going to get to work on upgrading our uniforms and revamping the frontline defense. I have a few ideas. Most of them revolve around putting more turrets out there. Pretty much just putting more turrets out there if I'm being entirely honest, but you'll get to see that next time. As well as just putting more turrets and various defenses around the colony on the inside in case of a drop pod raid or if somebody manages to break through. But with all that said and done, I will see you all in the next episode.